Cookie.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Hi.
It was awesome. You testified for a snippet a couple of months ago now, a few months ago.
Oh
now.
yeah. Yep.
And
And pretty much just preached.
and then
didn't-
then preached.
Yep.
It was good preach. It was good.
It's good preach.
It was great.
Good preach.
Yeah. So now we've got a little bit more time just for you to share a bit more of your story. Just of the amazing grace of God in your life.
Oh,
You know?
come on.
Hey.
We're going straight to it. Not
Straight
gonna
to
talk about favorite colours.
Oh,
or
okay.
nothing.
No,
No, that's okay.
Favourite
Okay.
colours?
No.
We're going to stop.
Blue, maybe, obviously.
Well,
Blue.
looks like blue. Yeah. 'cause
And there's actually
orange.
a blue light behind you.
No.
orange.
No.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Is it really? Slow down.
Orange.
Go through the orange light every time.
Yeah. Wow.
Nah.
Orange.
But orange is my favorite colour.
Wow. How cool is that?
Mm.
Okay.
We can ease into it though.
Now, grace
For-
of God? Or
Sorry. How is, which may have been one of the questions you were given, but how is life for you at the moment? For people that don't know
Great.
you, what do you do? Family,
Yep.
work.
Yep. So what do I do? The last 7 years of... am I looking at you guys? Yep. Let's look at you guys.
So
So for take 3 days.
Yeah.
All right. Last 7 years, I've been working at King's Christian College.
Nice.
So I started as the chess coordinator, which I didn't know was an actual thing until went there. And now, so that was just 1 day a week and sort of progressed. They looked at my background in sport. They're like, oh, hey, can you jump on and do some sport here as well? So
that's cool.
got a couple more days and then did some teacher aid work. So yeah, within about 6 months, I was there 5 days a week.
Wow.
Chess, sport, teacher aid work, and by the end of the year, ended up jumping into like classes. They sort of said, look, like we've got an extra prep class, so they only had 4, and they were doing these things called specialist rotations, where they do design, technology, library, sport, that sort of stuff. And they're like, oh, hey, do you want to try chess? So I was like, all right, give it a crack with the preps. And coming from scaffolding before this job, had plenty of experience. Just jumped in and killed it.
So chess though. So you're a scaffolder.
Yeah.
Before this, talk to us about the whole
Does the chess
chess
come in?
sort of thing.
Just by appearance. Really a good chess player. Just by looking at
Someone snorted. That was good.
So grew up, I guess family life, bit of past. Parents' older sister, and she started playing chess on like a 1 day a week in an afternoon, and parents couldn't pick us up on that day, but we'd walk home from school, so I would just tag in at the back of the library. I was 6 years old, and just watch and probably just goof around and cause destruction. But when we were walking home, my sister, like, we get printouts, and she would just be telling me how the pieces move and all that sort of stuff, and we'd go to tournaments together.
How much older is she than you?
3 years.
Okay.
Yeah. She's like 9 then, I'm 6, and like she would just destroy me at the tournaments. We'd end up playing each other, and she'd just kill me, and then eventually, tides turned, and student became the master. She ended up taking on. She quit chess and did ballet, and I was like, yeah, you can have that one. So I've been really competitive. That's when
Next
I started.
minute, you're up the back of the
Yeah,
ballet.
ballet. Yeah, no,
Coming for
I
you.
got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll get that lead role. Started rugby union and then boxing all around the same time.
Nice.
So that was the upbringing combo: chess, rugby union, boxing.
So
Solid.
how far did you go with chess?
So when I was 11, I won the Gold Coast under-18 title. So I beat all like the grade
Did you
12s.
say 11?
11 years old, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was still in primary school. took down the the under 18s,
Really?
high schoolers, and yeah.
Did it just click with you or something?
Yeah, it did click. I think probably around like maybe 8 years old, it clicked, and then we
Same.
ended up
Same.
Yeah.
I still get it. Oh, wow.
the librarian. We just had chess in the library after school, just 1 day a week with the coach, and anyone who wanted to come in would come in, and so he was a real good player, and just taught us, and there were lots of pretty decent players there too.
Do
so
you actually like it? Do you actually love it? Do
Love
you?
it. Yeah.
Still?
Yeah, it's just a
And-
strategy, just like outthinking people. It's fun.
Yeah, so that's my question. Is it memory or is it strategy?
It's both, because you
Yeah.
can memorize something like clinical, and so like when they're playing this, I guess like jiu-jitsu is like when they got a certain hold, or like there's a
Good
counter,
analogy,
and then
yeah,
there's
yeah.
another counter and a counter
Yes.
to that, and
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I'll plan this, but on the third move they played this whack move. Now it's like, well, what do I do?
Yeah.
And that's
okay.
where strategy and like piece mobility and all the other little things.
That makes sense.
come
That
into
was
play.
actually a great. You just helped me understand that. That's good.
This is also a chess lesson.
Yeah.
By the way.
I'm getting
Just
it.
teaching. Always teaching.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah. I enjoy playing it,
Yeah.
but I'm no good. I'm a couple moves ahead, and I'm like, if you do something outside of what I was planning, I'm like, it's over.
Yeah, just restart.
Done.
So just time and just experience. Yeah.
That's amazing.
No, it's fun.
And so from 11
yeah, so
on,
then
you just kept...
so 11 onwards. So then won under 14 state title. So
Wow.
best in Australia for under 14.
Whoa, best in Australia.
Best in Queensland under
Wow.
14, and then that same year that I was 11 and won the Gold Coast under 18 title, I won the Australian under 12 rapid title. That same year.
Rapid?
So
For-
rapid is like I guess
Faster.
like fast chess.
Yeah.
Yeah, faster chess. Yeah.
Like how
He
long's a game?
It's rapid.
Says blitz, which is like super quick,
Very quick.
like 10 minutes finish. Hey, send me
10 minutes.
You can confirm, like
Uh-huh.
5 minutes each, sort of thing.
Wow.
And there's rapid, which anything under like half hour.
Okay.
So
Wow.
yeah.
So you won the Australian.
So it was
Wow,
the
that's
best
amazing.
under 12
Wow.
rapid.
And then where did you sort of stop that sort of...
Oh,
When you had to
ladder.
start playing Chinese kids.
yeah, that's pretty much it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I beat them.
Oh.
No, it's like, oh.
Yeah, but they're
Shots
three
fired.
years old, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. When they hit 4, you don't play them.
Oh.
I think high school, I sort of just stepped
Okay.
back and just
So
noticed
shoot footy.
girls, noticed girls, and everything else.
No girls at chess.
Slim pickings. Yep.
Queen's Gambit?
Queen's Gambit is it was the most watched Netflix series
Yeah.
in the world for a while. I guess like portrayed to kids, I wouldn't like use.
No,
I mean all the
yeah.
drugs and all this sort of stuff. But I mean, just like the essence of the whole thing was pretty good, just to bring awareness to chess and just how anyone can play. And it was the storyline was cool.
So, in like growing up, were you brought up in a Christian family?
No, so when I was like 8, 9, sometimes we used to say grace at dinner time, but then after that, I don't know, it might have been maybe 6 months or a year or something. We just stopped, and
Wow.
then my parents pretty much just said there's no God, and that's how we lived, and just try everything. That's it.
What do you think that was? Like, what's that?
I guess in the moment, like you don't, like you're a kid, you sort of just don't question too much or whatever. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, we just don't say grace anymore or whatever. And so
Something
But,
happened to them, hey?
yeah, it must have been something. Must have
So-
maybe a struggle or something that they went through, and just that's how they dealt with it.
So sort of even when you say grace, no real God conscience.
Oh,
like,
it's sort of like that would be the only time we'd sort of talk to God. Was like, okay,
thank you,
dinner's
Lord,
on
for
the
this food.
table. Yeah, sit there, don't move, eat your food. Thank you. Put your hands like just that sort of stuff. Put your hands together, and but so it was a bit strange.
Any Christian friends like at school or anything?
No Christian friends at school, and I guess the group that I ended up gravitating to was the same group. I guess my parents were friends with, like
Sure.
the adults, and you just hang out with their kids, and
Yeah,
you
makes
just
sense.
do that life. And I guess so that was pretty much the rugby scene. We
Mm-hmm.
were there every weekend and training nights, and so our house was pretty much the party house on Saturdays, and so
From what
straight
age?
after grace. From maybe from like 12,
Wow.
13. Yep. around that
So your
time.
dad played footy?
Nah, he
Oh.
he grew up in Yorkshire.
Soccer.
Yeah, so he was soccer, but he he
Football.
never wanted kids. He didn't want kids.
Oh, wow.
He's like he just had his 77th
That's why he stopped
birthday.
saying grace. That's why-
Yeah, that's why. Wow, these kids are tough, man.
We're not saying grace
We-
anymore.
We
Yeah,
knew
yeah.
from a young age he didn't want us.
we knew. We knew. Oh, nah, they're honestly really good parents. My mum and dad,
Yeah.
Clive and Simone, they're great.
Nice.
Mum's in her mid-50s.
Wow.
Dad's in his like late 70s.
Wow.
So it's probably the old, hey, I'm 20 as well. It's like 40. Those ones.
So you were into footy from young, like 10, 11, 12.
I started younger,
Okay.
but I guess I don't know. Just the whole party
Just
scene
loved it.
sort of came along then, and loved playing.
So that's quite young. Like the culture sort of engenders that, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And so I guess you just sort of become who you surround yourself with, and
Yep.
and what everyone else is doing, you just do, and that becomes the norm. And so I think from like 15, mate of mine and me, we were both like drug dealing and that sort of stuff from just out of Nerang, of course.
Wow.
So that's where you're going to make the money.
William Duncan, primary school.
Yeah, close by. Just the old phone booth out near the, I call it the Nerang food court, but it's where it's got the Maccas and all that stuff. There's a phone booth.
Oh yeah, Hungry Jack's.
Near
and-
opposite the Bunnings.
Yeah.
Wow. So
Yeah,
that's
that was it. It was a stomping ground.
that's a stomping ground. Nerang Bulls guy.
Yep.
Yeah. Union, not league.
Yeah, Union. It's just, I think I would have probably just been whatever my dad took me to. But yeah, so it was Union.
What position?
Played halfback
Oh yeah.
most of my life because I used to be really short. So even through high school, I was like, yeah.
Really?
I know, then I grew like 30 centimeters after I graduated, and people that used to dunk over me, I can like block now. Oh,
Wow.
yeah. So, yeah.
So footy was your main thing, and you just sort of worked to after
Yeah,
school,
so-
just work and
yeah,
play
so,
footy.
yeah, so chess early on, footy, but then boxing as well. Like,
Oh yeah.
I'd go boxing a couple of times a week. Dad has Holden Statesman,
Oh
like a
yeah.
real old
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
like it's one of those specialist number plate ones,
Wow.
and V8, and he'd just burn that up the highway and go boxing, and then it's just
PCYC.
it was cool. It's KO Fitness in Miami,
Oh,
Which is
KO
where I
Fitness
went.
is-
Still there.
maybe near the Mike Spikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's-
I went there from when I was
It is still there.
Yeah.
8 or 9.
Yeah.
Shucks.
Yeah. So I mean, I haven't been there in a while,
Yeah,
but my trainer there, so I was like 8 or 9 when I went in there, and my trainer that was there, the guy who was he was the Australian lightweight champion,
Oh no.
Danny
way,
McGrail,
man.
and Danny, he had Boss tattooed on his BOS, Bones of Stone.
Wow.
And so he was the Oz lightweight boxing champ, and he had like a group going. No kids in there, but my dad took me up, and he just sort of took me under his wing. He's like, "Yeah, I don't train kids, but he can join in," and so it took me on. And I was there for a few years, just training, getting fit.
You can box, eh?
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah,
Yeah, I bet you
fight
can.
my way out of a paper bag, maybe. Sometimes. Yeah. Nah, I pretty much just use it for fitness and and even like chess, just flowing into everything, like just tactical. Like, what are the weaknesses? Like, oh, he's dropping his guard, or he slightly opens his mouth before he throws a punch, or he switches his feet, and so you get you get to just dominate people based on them just showing little signs and stuff.
little
But
tells. Oh,
same with
man.
rugby too, and with the opposite number and stuff. But but I ended up having a fight with the Fight Like a Pro, which
Oh, yep.
yeah, Gavin.
Did
Top.
you actually? Oh, you actually went with Gavin Top.
Yeah. So I was actually one of the first in like 2009.
Smoked his opponent.
Yeah. It wasn't
I
fair.
see.
It wasn't fair.
Okay, I'm getting the hang of this.
Yeah, so how do we do this? How do we do? Oh, I got the wrong gloves on. It's opposite hand.
Kabang. Oh,
Yeah, round one.
Yeah,
Ooh.
knockout.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, but that was a bit of fun.
And you did smash the dude, eh?
Yeah, won the fight.
Yeah.
oh, that's harsh. That's harsh.
It's good.
It's war.
Wow.
Yeah.
He could have
this
trained
was-
when he was younger if he wanted as well. Like
Yeah,
it was his choice.
That's it. Yeah.
Did it go to the judges or?
Yeah, it did actually. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
No, it went all the way through. He was Oh man, I was only like a light fella, like 70. I fought at 70 kilos,
Wow.
and he's for about 85. 85
Yeah.
kilos, and so bit of a mismatch, but it was a good match, good fight, and I mean, I watch it back and I can't watch it because I'm like that 19-year-old, super arrogant.
Wow.
Just I'm like,
So still no God awareness. You're sort of playing footy, boxing, party,
yeah,
into it all.
yeah. So like little bit of God awareness, like here and there, throughout the life.
Real?
Just with like a few moments, but at this, like, definitely not
Like
walking
what
with
are
God,
the
not going to
just
church.
fleeting moments? Just like what moments? What
Okay,
moments?
so like, so Red Frogs had already happened for me then.
Okay.
So it was my school this week, that
okay,
sort of
yep.
stuff. So that had already happened.
So you turn up to the meeting and you're like, oh, wow. And you sit down and don't respond. Has
Yeah.
that had
That's
happened?
happened. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but then, I guess just still choosing the same group of friends at this point at 19.
So what
Doing
you're
my own
saying
thing.
is your friends determine, your environment
Mm.
determines
Mm.
your destiny.
Has a big impact.
Big impact.
100%. Like, I know like a common saying is like, show me your friends and I'll show you your future.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing. That was definitely my life.
Wow.
Yeah. So I had to make some big calls
Yeah.
to just try to,
Yeah.
like, I mean, when I did start walking with God, it was that whole, okay, we're just heading in different directions. And it's like, man, I still love them, like
Sure.
who they are. But, we're just running in different circles and wanting different things for our future and for our future family. And want to be a dad one day. I want to be a good dad. And all of a sudden, being bad isn't so cool anymore. Sort of stuff. But yeah.
How old are you now?
31.
31.
Mm.
Oh, we're the same.
Are
Same
you?
age.
Wow.
Hey.
1990. Are you 90?
Yeah, August.
74.
Hey,
Woo!
mate,
90,
you're a young
92.
fella.
Yeah.
Wow.
This young buck.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey.
So,
Hey. Hey.
so schoolies. What school did you go to?
Pardon me. So primary school I went to Wurrunggeri State School.
Oh,
Yeah.
You guys were a second on the bus, mate. We'd pick you up from William Duncan.
Oh
and
yeah.
we'd come to
Yeah.
Wurrunggeri, pick
Yeah.
you guys up.
I never went on the bus because we walked. Because we just walked. We couldn't
Nah.
afford the bus.
Yeah, my parents, we were living high. I was catching the bus 4 days a week.
Nah. And then I don't know. Maybe my parents won the lotto. Maybe that's why they stopped saying grace. 'Cause then they sent me to Somerset. So it was a bit
Are
of
you
a
kidding me?
jump.
Jeez,
Yeah.
Step up.
Wasn't a scholarship.
I don't know. They
Okay.
told me, but I ended up jumping ahead because of chess and rugby and stuff. Yeah.
So Somerset all the way to year 12?
Yep.
And year 12, what after that?
Oh man. So like, I guess that's where like rugby became a big focus for me, and through those like year 11 and 12.
Mhm.
And the girls and everything.
Did you
So
any
they-
rep teams for rugby?
A bit of Cyclones, but then when I was in year 12, there was me, Dean Murray, and another dude. We ended up getting picked for like a trial for the Queensland Reds development squad.
Cool.
And that was an awesome opportunity. I didn't end up making it. I was going for halfback. There was a couple of other halfbacks, like James O'Connor was in that squad and stuff, and Matt Tamur was there. The halfback mentor was Will Guinea.
Oh,
who's
wow.
the halfback
Yeah.
for the was. Yeah. So he had just started at the Reds then in 2007. So yeah, no, it was cool. Like lots of opportunity, but I think even just the drug side of things for me and that crowd, like just I didn't turn up to a few trainings and stuff like that, and it's
Right.
like, man, like huge opportunity, and you just like, oh, I can't be bothered. And it's sad because I guess like a lot of the professional athletes and stuff that you see on TV today, they're probably, I mean, they're amazing, but they might not be the best. It'll be that dude
Right.
who's on the couch who's just stoned or, and just can't be bothered. And
Which there's
stuff like that. And
heaps
it's
of it, man.
heaps,
There's heaps of it.
But yeah, you put the work in, and like when everyone else is asleep, like, and that's what gets you on that stage, and you deserve it. Because
Yes.
everyone wants the product, but not the process.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's, a bit of fun.
Yeah.
No, it's good.
Slow down.
Nah, it's good. It's great.
So do you reckon there was potential for you to go further had you, gotten off the couch, actually stayed focused?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, it certainly didn't help just not being there sometimes. So, who are we going to pick? Oh, it's not. Yeah.
There's only one guy here.
Yeah, you're in.
Yeah. That's how I think I did it, right? Because I was the one that was always at the trainings, always turned up,
Awesome.
always packing the bags,
Yeah. That's what I'd have on my team any day.
Yeah. You just turn up.
Yep.
Last man standing. Sometimes it's actually how it works.
That's it.
So drugs and alcohol and girls, that was sort of in
that
your
was it.
view.
Yeah, at like a fairly early stage.
And you had, a little open door to God at Froggies.
Yeah, so I
Schoolies.
stayed with like Dino and all them.
Oh,
in
really?
Saint-Tropez during my schoolies week.
Jeez.
Yeah, so I was with the boys there, and so
Would have been
sort of rowdy.
loose as.
Yeah, just loose.
Yep.
Sleeping around, all that stuff, drugs, drinking. I think like my suitcase just had a carton of JD, a couple of clothes. I was like, man, not going to wear too much clothes this week. But anyway, the Red Froggers came in, and they were sort of just going around, and I was like, come on in, like drink up and all that. And they're like, oh, we're not drinking, but here's our card, and we'll come clean your room, cook your pancakes, all that stuff. And I was just like, man, you guys are booked in every day,
Awesome.
cooking us pancakes, and they did. They just kept rocking up, and it wasn't, it didn't matter how much I was swearing, or how I was living, or what I was doing. These 5 people just wearing a shirt with a red frog on it, just kept loving. And
It's crazy, eh?
I think what got to me was remember one morning just waking up mega hungover and just seeing vomit on the floor, and just these guys just cleaning it. I'm like, man, you guys have known us for like 4 days.
Wow.
And you clean up, like, what the heck? How much are you getting paid?
Yeah.
And they just said, like, we're actually volunteering. Like, we don't get paid anything. And one other dude's like, oh, I actually pay to stay, like, close by and stuff, because they're from Brisbane. And I was like, oh, man, no way. I was like, why? Why do you do that? Out of all the things you could do with your time, why are you cleaning up some 17-year-old arrogant kid? And he goes, Cookie, it's just because we love you. Love you, bud. And I was like, man, it just hit me. It just hit me big. And I was like, far out, okay. Like, they're like, hey, come to church with us tonight. And I was like, oh, no one's really, like, Somerset had a chapel thing, but man, we used to just use it to spin our hats and whatever, like, it'd be late or whatnot, but I didn't engage during the chapels. But then, they invited me along to church like midweek schoolies week, which I guess if you had told me beforehand, I probably would have been like, what? This is all just beach parties and all that stuff. But went along, and I remember just just been there in the service at Surf City at night time, and the dude was preaching and they were singing songs and people had their hands up, and I was sort of looking there was a ton of other schooly kids in there and froggers sort of scattered around, and we're just looking at each other going like, what's going on? I don't know, just intoxicated still. And I just remember at the end of the dude's message, it was like, just come up if you want to get to know Jesus.
Was it, did quite a few people go up?
Heaps.
Wow.
Heaps of people went up. And in that moment, I sort of just thought, like, what are my rugby mates going to think, or my parents? And I just sat down, and I had the 5 froggers, like, all next to me. I was sitting right at the back, in the middle, but right at the back. And, man, I just, like, in hindsight, I just reckon that their heart just dropped, because, that God leaves, he says that leaves the 99 to go after the one. And, like, I bet just I was that one for them. And in that moment, and I think, God doesn't show us the finished puzzle. He just shows us the piece. And he's like, just be willing with this guy. Don't be the missing link in this kid's life. Just keep loving him, just keep rocking up. And they did. And, in that moment, they probably thought it was like, checkmate, but it was just check.
Yeah,
and the game
right.
was still on. And, like that was a huge seed that was sown, like just a huge God moment, because I was like, wait, why did I think there was more than the emptiness? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I just questioning that. Then you just get back into your circle and back into the group of mates and just keep living life.
Was that like the first time you heard the gospel, like that Jesus loved you type thing?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like I said, like Somerset, like they do have
Chapel.
yeah, chapels and there are people like 100% get saved
Right.
at chapel and stuff.
Similar
like
to Kings? Or
yeah, and similar to Kings. Like
Yeah, okay.
Kings, they have chapels every week and give altar calls.
Same saying, because I've been at Kings when there's kids up the front. There's probably like maybe 15% engaged. The other kids are up the back, just like
Yeah.
So it's just like that.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
But you've heard the gospel. It hasn't.
But it hasn't hit. It was just like path.
Yeah.
Just hard heart, like not keen.
Okay.
Don't want to hear it. Don't want to. Yeah, but
So what was the turning point? The Froggers made an impact on your life.
the turning point was when I was working at Red Rooster in the rain. And there's only up. No.
And your favourite colour's orange.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, he's in trouble, this kid. Turning point. Yeah, so, I mean, I chose Red Rooster. A, one of my mates was working with it. B, no customers, so you're just going to get paid.
The rooster is calling.
Unless, honestly, the only nights we got slammed was like BMX night in the BMX track there. Bruh. You try to get those ones off back in the day, hey. But yeah, like 17 years old. So
good, bro.
I was like working through there while schoolies week after schoolies week. I stayed there for about a year. But my mate, one of the dudes that was there, obviously he's kitchen hand, so he's dating a cashier chick. Like that's just how it works, right? That's it.
They combine their discount.
They combine the discount. I bring the family through. Chicken's out the back. But he's like, hey, like, we're going on a bit of a date night, whatever, or just catching a movie, and there's a chick. Do you want to come along? Bit of a blind date sort of thing. It's like, yeah, why not? Give us a look at the photo, and go.
Show us the MySpace.
yeah, it was MySpace, 100%. Went along, like, checked out a movie, and bit of a connection and whatnot there, and I actually ended up dating her for 2 years.
Wow.
Oh, well.
Yeah,
Getting serious.
Yeah,
serious.
Yeah. So like I guess like early stages of dating, her family. So there's 6 in their family. So the parents, the 4 kids, and so I was dating their eldest daughter, and they all went to church.
Oh, no.
And so that's why I went to church.
Oh wow.
Yeah, just because I was like, oh, she's
Awesome.
hot or whatever. Yeah, so I'll just go her and but yeah, no, at the church, like amazing, cool church.
Yeah.
and just people that love God and love you, and it was awesome. Just accept you where you're at, and there'd always be that altar call. And I mean, there's like 20 of us in the whole church, and that altar call would always come, and it was like, yeah, you know, when
The pastor's looking at you.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah,
I know everyone's saved.
yeah,
But
exactly,
you-
yeah. I got calling a name out. But I think for a while I was like, no, I'm just here for her. But eventually I just went up the front. Might have even been like mid message, just going up and just like pray for me, and yeah.
And you got water
Prayed-
Wow.
baptized and
Ended up getting water baptized at her house,
wow.
like not long after. But I
Jeez.
mean, oh, dude, I remember like I had invited a mate to church, and we went in his Nissan 180.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, so we ended up fishing up the road on the way, and ended up backwards in the other like, bro, we almost died that day. It was full on. Like, yeah, he just went off. He just floored it, fanged it. We ended up in the opposite lane, facing all the cars of the people from church coming past us on the way to that house. Like, it was around the corner from their house. And then chucks a little Yui. Yes, I got baptized. I made it to
Wow.
my baptism,
Wow.
which was a win. That was a win.
But it's
Yeah.
sort of like you're saying it like there's sort of still no fire. There's still no.
I don't mean,
Yeah, I feel like there's
Yeah.
this. You're just
yeah,
doing the
not
thing
yet.
without
Not
the. Mm.
Yeah.
It's not the-
really doing it for me, just doing it for others.
And how
Yeah.
old are you at that point? Like 19?
No.
Yeah.
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 Okay, and obviously there's nothing from your family in the sense of God
Oh, I
stuff.
was 17.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
17, 18.
Okay.
So I was with her for 2 years. Yeah, it was around in the 19.
Okay,
I was-
wow.
Yep.
So you
Yeah, still no passion,
Wow.
no real, like little moments, like I said, with the
Mm.
like, oh man, there's more. But then I guess after we finished dating, I sort of just went on that bender again.
right.
But then it came to, it came to a point where I was like, oh man, you know, like I think it must have been a message about like not being lukewarm. Like you're either all in or you're not.
Yeah.
Like, and so, I ended up eventually down the track, like going, okay, nah, this is for me, and then just going hard out. And
What age were you then?
around that age, like
19.
late 19s, 20, like early 20s, and quit 3 jobs to do full-time Bible college.
Wow.
Oh, no
It was
way.
like prophesied a whole bunch of stuff, you know, gets prophesied over, but it was a lady, Marissa from church. She just always on, hey, just gave me this word of just God just wants to take you deeper, and even Bible college. And I'm just like, in my mind, my chest brain, my everything brain, I'm like, how do I do this? And it just didn't I couldn't keep everything.
Mm.
I had to sacrifice something, and I knew it wasn't the popular choice, and so by then, like, I had just sort of walked away from all my old mates and that sort of
Right.
stuff, and made that call, and then this one was a big call because I know it would directly affect my family and my parents, and it's like, you know, why are you quitting 3 jobs? Because they had just gone guarantor, so I could get a house. It
Right.
was in their name, all this, and I'm just like quitting 3 jobs to do Bible college. So not the most popular kid, but I was just like, I know that this is what God's calling me to do, and I've just spent so much of my time just wasted days just walking around the desert, you know. And I'm like, now's the time.
Wow.
And so just enrolled at Surf City.
Yep.
And which is where I was during that schoolies week.
Mark Scary would have been
Mark
your
Scary was one of my
Bible teachers.
lecturers.
Yep.
Yep. He's awesome. And then, so quit the 3 jobs. And then I ended up going for a job, and I said straight up, I was like, you know, these are my Bible college hours. And I knew I had to say Bible. I couldn't just say study or whatever. I just went straight up. And he said, well, actually, we work around the clock, so you can come in here in the morning and then Arvo and do what you need to do.
Sick.
And so that was a steel frame factory. And like that place was amazing. It sort of just took me deeper with God.
Mm.
Because I was doing college and I loved that whole interaction in a group. Because I always sort of had that, trying to be like an instigator of things. But I guess like my perspective had just shifted, and it was more about like, how can I just help other people connect with God and grow in what they love doing and that sort of thing. And so loved going to Bible college. And then I would get to practice a lot of stuff going to work, and I meet everyone there because I was morning and night shifts. So I got to build a relationship with everyone. And in my first shift, the boss of the whole company took us around. So it's not the one that I met in the induction thing in the interview. There was me, 2 other dudes, and he walks us around the factory just showing us, and he's like, oh, there's a few rules. There's no this, no that, and no talking about God was one of his rules. It was one of his rules. So I was like, Jesus, you're just going to take over this place. And within about a month of just getting to know everyone there, I just started to run it wasn't really a connect group because I was just running it by myself. So I'd just stay there by myself and just read the Bible at Smoko and just be different, hey. And I think that's it. Like, you don't have to preach at anyone or tell anyone because that's what I know from the Froggers.
Yep.
Like, they didn't hustle, like, nothing. It was more just like meet people where they're at and just love them unconditionally. And so that's what I did. And I just sat there and, and then people would just question and, you get the haggles and the laughs and all that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, like, that means God's just working behind the scenes. Hey?
That's exactly right.
And, so I started, like, they ended up joining the group, like a lot of them. There was a few that sort of did their own thing, but the atmosphere of the whole place changed.
Wow.
Like, we started listening to 107.3. We
Juice.
started to play Lecrae CDs,
Yo.
like, in the workplace, and it just changed. Like, people just, this one dude, Munz, like, incredible guy, amazing voice. Like, he's just singing praise songs and stuff, and coming to church, getting prophesied at, like, in tears, like, amazing stuff's happening. And there was this one dude who would sit out of the group, but then, like, especially, he was mainly on night shift, and at 11 o'clock in the car park, he's just like, okay, what's actually got, and he just asked all these questions then, and it got down to it, and I was like, you know what, like, you don't actually have to be in a church to give your life to God, to start just a relationship with him and change your whole eternity. We can do it right now.
Come on.
And he's like, okay, so I had, like, my Nissan Pulsar on and some Hillsong worship going. It was awesome. And just prayed for him.
Come on.
And so led him to the Lord at 11 p.m. in a car park. And
that's it.
Built connection. And he started coming to church.
Wow.
And it was awesome. I ended up, because my job was like assembling the steel frames, and his job was actually like just sort of pressing it and letting it print out, sort of thing, whatever, like just manufacture it and roll out. But I just saw that he had a lot of time, so on his desk I just wrote a whole bunch of scriptures and he just memorized them and talk. And
awesome.
So it was cool.
That's amazing.
And you're in your late teens, early 20s doing this.
Yeah.
Shucks, man.
So I did that for a year, and then started scaffolding, and I was scaffolding for 3 years on the Lady Salento Queensland Children's Hospital in Brisbane. And I guess what I learned from the last job I put into this one, and just started again, just reading the Bible. But this time it's like, when God says, when you're faithful with little, I'll give you much, and I'll give you more. And so I was in now a workspace with 170 workers in the Smoko shed, scaffolders, chippies, labourers. And a dude walked past and saw me reading a Bible, and I had a few other guys like sort of in the group now, and like an ex-prisoner, like dude from prison, and Nomad's bikey dude, and just random group. But this dude walked past, and we started chatting. We caught the train back together, and he prophesied over me, and it was just bang on point. Just prophesied. He's this chippy dude that I just met, I was like, far out, who is this? So I got to work with him for years, and he just mentored me, and we just sharpened each other, and just step out in faith and fast, and just change this workplace. And his name's Ario.
Oh, yo.
Yeah, bro.
Come on.
Oh,
From
no
Oasis.
way.
Yeah. So before he ran Oasis or anything, I was like, man, yeah, dude, you're pastor, probably everything. Like, just yeah. So God put us together. So we're just we're like
So good.
brothers. Man.
Yeah.
Sick as
It's
hell.
amazing.
That's awesome. He's a chippy.
Was, yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's his qualification.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So then you're getting input, you're getting fire.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
when did you meet your wife?
So
Sort of
we had
during that
already
time?
had the twins. Now,
Oh, yep.
so I guess before that, and I guess this is pretty wild. This next part, but how I met my wife. But I guess just another God thing. So, I guess like going back to the still frame of how I met my wife. This dude, that the 11 p.m. car park guy.
Mhm.
Yeah. So he was just dating a chick, and I ended up counseling them and that sort of thing, and they were coming to church, and eventually it sort of, I mean, it was pretty like toxic, and I don't know, I was trying to keep them together because that's just my heart and where I was at, and they ended up splitting, going their separate ways and doing their own thing, and she just kept coming to church, the ex, and it was like, oh no, just stay focused, keep preaching, keep doing whatever, or I mean preaching in the workplace,
Yeah.
stuff like that. And then I got asked to preach, so this was the first time I preached, and then that was literally the second time you had asked me to preach on the platform.
For real?
Yeah, so it's been like 10 years, years and years and years. And I preached, and her nan and her family, like they're missionaries, and she just goes, oh, she said to her nan, oh, I think I love him. And her nan goes, nah, don't go for this one. He's way too passionate. Oh, she was right. We got 4 kids now. We're married with 4 kids.
Shucks.
So yeah,
Wow.
I had the twins.
Wow.
So Jess was actually pregnant at our wedding.
Wow.
And then, so that was like a tough time too, because we're like, oh, children are a gift, but it's also like the act of what we'd already done. And so we just felt obviously really bad knowing that how we went about things. But,
Right.
it was still just like, okay, like our kids are a blessing from God, and
Yeah.
we're just going to love them and, just try our best. And I was 21 and Jess was 19 at the time. So just kids raising kids. And I remember going in for the scan, and it's like, okay, yep, there's a heartbeat. And then we went for like a later scan, like 12-week, 15-week, and they just said, they just go, oh, there's a different place, and the nurse got angry, or not nurse, whatever she's like, get it, oh, what's going on? I'm like, oh, what's wrong with our baby? Like, what's happening? And they're like, oh, you needed to double book your time because we need to measure the heartbeat and everything of both babies. And we're like, what? Are we having twins? We're having twins? And Jess just broke down and crying. She's like, man, I'm going to push out too.
Wow.
So so we've, we don't know what one child's like.
Wow.
Raised,
Wow.
got the twins, and crazy enough to go
So
back
how long have
again.
you been married now? 10 years now?
So we have our
Come on, 10
10-year
years.
wedding
Wow.
anniversary in January.
Come on.
No way.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Man.
You got 4 kids
Yeah.
loving the rain, you live in the Highland Park, sorry.
Highland Park.
It's very different, Marshall.
It's very different.
That's another podcast.
Top of the hill.
It's
Top of the hill. Top of the hill living.
We look down on Narang. Well,
Yeah.
they look down on me, and I look down on Narang.
Okay. So you know,
We welcome everyone.
your walk with the Lord is just getting better and better and stronger, and
100%. Hey,
Yeah.
like even just having my eyes open from coming to chapel,
right.
like even that was like a divine God encounter
Mm.
of coming along to chapel, and like I guess
Your family's
seeing-
healthy. Your
family's healthy, yeah, and just seeing what it's like to just be free to like serve God and not I don't know, just free to serve God and then work out your giftings too.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like I'm more, I guess, I'm stoked to be, I guess, maybe not up the front all the time, but at a construction site or whatever. And but then it's like, okay, I'll put my hand up to run a banquet.
Yeah.
And evangelism banquet called
Awesome.
Everyday Evangelism, and that's been awesome. So I've run a couple of those now
Yep.
this year. Amazing, diverse group, and
Yep.
and just hearing people's hearts, and then getting to share our stories. And it says, that iron sharpens iron, and he who refreshes others will be refreshed. And so we get to store up our stones, our stories, and just encourage each other. And I guess it does remind me of when the Israelites came through the Red Sea, and how God said, pick up a stone from the bank, and the 12 leaders, the tribes, and put on the bank of Gilgal. And they're like, why are we doing this? What's the purpose? And it's like, this is for the next generation and their generation. And so it's like you store up your stories, your testimony. It's how we overcome the enemy.
Come on.
And so it's cool just getting to, I guess, equip people and give them confidence that it's like, hey, you don't have to have all the perfect words or anything. Like, you just be different where you're at. You know that God's plan is to redeem. They're his kids first. Like, he actually loves them more than you. And even though you don't know what's going on, like, he'll, just prepare your heart. Like, if you're willing. And I think that's the one thing that all the disciples had in common, is they were all willing to say yes.
Come on.
There's only 12 that said, yeah, I'm sure he asked many more.
Yeah.
We don't know them.
Fair point.
And so I guess like in our life, I just want to be someone who's willing to just to step out and say yes to Jesus
It's awesome.
each day, and the opportunities to just bring people to the Lord. Because at the end of the day, all we can take to heaven is
People.
souls. Is people.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's cool, bro. Very
So
cool.
you've been a believer now for 11 years, nearly 12
Yep.
years.
Yep.
Solid in the faith.
Yep.
Beautiful family. What's the
Yep.
ages of your kids right now?
Identical twins are not. Why did I pause for so long? Identical twins are 9. Sienna and Sophia, and Isaiah is 6, and
Yeah.
Elijah is 2.
Awesome.
And we actually, like with naming them, like names are so they all have cool name meanings and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But also, when Sarai became Sarah,
Yeah.
it was just like this breath of God that and so we purposely put AH at the end of all
Yeah,
their
nice.
names.
Nice.
So that's
That's
it's
what
like,
we
why
did.
can't you spell their name? It's like, oh yeah, those weird parents that give
Yeah.
their kids weird names. It's like,
Well, we've got
that's why.
Georgia,
Yeah.
Taylor,
Zachariah.
Zachariah, Miller.
Got it.
It's the anointed.
I was just copying you.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
I can
Luna.
I can do the same with mine. Eh?
Luna.
Yeah, Vida. Oliver.
Samantha.
Yeah, I named
Rochelle.
Sam.
it.
Samuel. Well, we think you're amazing. We love you
Yeah,
being
bro.
a part of our family, our community.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're
Thanks.
it's awesome having some young family that love the Lord, passionate about God and spreading the gospel.
Yeah.
So we just thank you for spending a bit of time. And anything else? Any last words? Anything you just want to
I
encourage
guess like
people
yeah,
with?
yeah.
Like,
I guess or you can edit and have fun with how, like this whole thing down. It's going for like 3 hours. But I guess like one of my biggest biggest struggles is just was also probably my best moment as well, like to draw closer to God, was on the 5th of May 2017, and I was on my motorbike.
oh, your accident.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
coming home on the highway.
Wow.
And, going 100 Ks, van in the left lane, I'm in the middle, and just come in behind the van to exit the highway.
Yeah.
And as soon as I get into the off ramp, there's just a ute parked in the middle of the ramp, and so I know that I'm gonna hit him because it's like 0.5%. Like I just react and I swerve, and so as soon as I swerve like hard to the right, couldn't miss and just smacked into the corner of the tailgate, and that actually threw me back onto the M1. So 7:30 on a Friday night, I was consciously rolling back into the middle of the highway, and when I stopped, my legs are like towards the bridge, and cars are coming past, and you can feel the wind, and Yeah, it's
Wow.
terrifying. It's terrifying. But you know, like, yeah, there would have been people praying or whatever for all
Yeah.
sorts of random stuff. But it's like,
Yeah.
hang on, I just got to save this kid.
Yeah.
And I broke my foot, and like my shoes flew off on the impact. My foot broke, pretty much in half, but was all inside the skin. It was one of those YouTube clips.
Yeah.
And I eventually got to the hospital that night. Took 2 ambulances because the first one that got to me was already full, like it had someone else in it, so I had to wait. But they gave me the whistle, so that was nice enough.
Wow.
And then so the second ambo came, took me to hospital, and then had six operations on the foot and that sort of thing.
Wow.
Lots of breaks, lots of metal put in and all that
Yeah.
stuff. 2 plates, 12 screws, 9K wires in the left foot.
Wow.
It was a big one, but nothing else, you know, like they didn't die.
That's
like break
amazing.
neck or anything
Yeah.
like that. And so, yeah,
Just your foot.
yeah. I guess one of the biggest struggles was I used to be into fitness
Yeah.
a lot, even helping with the staff at Kings at that time to do Tough Mudder and all that stuff, and then to be jacked up in a bed, like can't move, peeing in a bag, all that stuff, and then you see your kids. I only had 3 at the time. See the kids all come up, like Elijah wouldn't have been here.
Yeah.
They all come up and run on and jump on me and stuff, and it's like, man, you know. And so I guess like the biggest, like the mental battle. And so I guess, I don't know, encouraging anyone out there like who's going through any sort of mental battle and just anything that's tough and you feel isolated and alone, it's actually the perfect time to draw and press into God. It's sort of like just that rest. And I think, you know, I would struggle with even resting, but getting that time to rest and get away from busyness and all that sort of stuff. I mean, you look at when God created Adam and then the very next day he gets to rest. And it's
true.
like, man, I just need to just sit back and rest and press into what
That's
God
good.
wants to do
Awesome.
in me.
Because you don't have a choice. You're just on your back.
Don't have a choice. No,
God,
can't run around.
you
Had to
may as
learn
well-
how to walk again.
Wow.
The wheelchair, all that stuff.
Wow.
And then, we actually had to move house as well during that time. And I was actually doing removalist in the school holidays, and but I obviously couldn't do
Wow.
anything. But no, God's just good. Hey, God's
Yeah.
good.
That's awesome.
If He can
man.
do it for me, this kid
Wow.
from Narang that grew up with my life and all that sort of stuff and whatever, and you know, still use me, then yeah, He can do it for anyone.
Wow, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
so encouraging. Yeah, that's really inspiring. And finding God in the hard times too.
Yeah,
Well, Him finding you.
yeah,
More
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
What the devil used for evil.
yeah.
God didn't plan that.
No, 100%.
You know,
He brings it up
God,
for good.
God turns it round for good.
100%.
Holds you, carries you.
Yeah, and then I got to
So-
do Red Frogs. Hey, in
Awesome.
2010, so
So
I got
good.
to frog in 2010, and
Wow.
oh man, yeah, save a kid. I ended up talking a kid out of suicide, like on the balcony,
Wow.
15 floors up, and baptized the kid in the beach on Saturday,
Come
like
on.
on the last day. But that was that one kid who
Yeah.
came to the service, like just like me, as a rugby kid from Brizzy, came down. Like it was just the exact me.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, how do I just not be the missing link in this kid's
Yeah.
life? And how do I love him? And you know, like.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, how do I just reach into his pit and just show him unconditional love
So
and,
good.
and be Jesus to him? And yeah, so you just sow the seed, hey, and then someone else will come along
That's
and
it.
water it. But it's God that brings the increase, so it's
Yeah.
just trusting His finished plan. It's better than my plan. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's cool.
Come on.
Well,
Thanks,
we
guys.
love your family. We think you're amazing. And
bro.
thanks for sharing just a little bit longer and a
Mm.
bit more of your story and just seeing God weave His way into your life and become really a foundation
Yeah.
in what you believe and who you are. So
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks,
Thanks
bro.
for the time. Thanks for
Thanks for your
leading me.
time.
You.
Cool. Thanks.